We did it. We did it. Another year in the books, Anthony.
Back in the office and ready for another year.
Woo! I'm Anthony. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to No Vacancy Live. I'm Glenn Hausman. That's Anthony Melchiori, and we have reached the end of the road for 2024. As far as live broadcasts go, we're actually recording a couple tomorrow for the top of the year.
So more importantly, this lighting is making my skin look what color, Glenn?
Somewhere between pink and dead.
That's not good. I like pink better.
Yeah, it goes from like being too pink to like real like original Night of the Living Dead ashen gray.
What's going on, man? I can't get the lighting right.
I don't know. Serves you right for being back in the office and not being on the road as we wind down this.
It's as you can tell, I'm a little tired. I got home very late last night or early this morning. I drove. Anyway, so yeah, man, 2024. Was it a long year or a short year? Did it seem like it flew by?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it went like that, but it also is hard to believe how long ago some stuff was.
I'll be honest with you. 2024 seems like it's been around for 10 years. It I don't know, like not because it's bad or anything, not because it just seems like this is but 2025 will be an interesting year. We'll see what happens. Listen, the market's up. The Fed's cut another quarter point. I'm starting to hear some transactions, not a lot. What's going on with my shirt there, Glenn?
Dude, I don't know what's going on with you today. You've got to hit that fader on the set.
But is that better? There you go.
Oh, there we go.
But no, we'll see what happens. It's I thought Canada was going to become our 51st state. Apparently, it won't.
I can't believe they rejected that offer. We have so much to offer.
We won't increase the tariffs, right? Anyway, that's our politics.
Come and help with our crippling debt. Just why not?
The three things that we pay the most in this country. The top three things our budget goes to. The military.
Yep, that's like half the budget or something.
No, it's less than half. But Social Security and Medicaid and things like that.
Well, we paid into that.
Oh, absolutely. But still, you have to pay it out. And then the interest on our loan is the third largest thing that we pay in this country.
Yeah, that's really depressing.
Right? It's like it's like the United States got credit card debt.
I know, and they got a lower VIG than the rest of us have to pay with credit card debt.
Yeah, but anyway, so we did a really good prep meeting this morning. What, an hour long on what we're going to talk about today?
Dude, it only felt like an hour long, but it was something like 6 hours. I mean, it was amazing.
Was it 6 hours or was it 0 seconds?
We were on the phone the entire time you were driving back from New Hampshire or something.
Yeah.
Really
so
every beat of this show, down to this conversation about plotting out every beat of the show.
Yeah, and just for our new viewers, we don't beat out any part of the show. So, what are you thankful for?
All right. First of all, I am super thankful that after all this time, people still want to hear what we have to say. And I want to thank everybody out there who gave me some awesome speaking engagements today. This past year, I got to go to so many cool things. Definitely super thankful to our friend Tony Yusfi over at Venetian for hooking me up with 4 nights of fish at Sphere in the luxury box. That was really one of the highlights of my entire career. Super thankful that we get to talk to really amazing people all the time.
Yeah, and we won't drop it here, but we have a very good friend of the show who's now running the Sphere.
Yeah, I know. So that's really
I look forward to going out there and doing a live podcast with him.
I want to see you and me and Sphere Vision up on there.
Yeah, right.
That'd be pretty awesome. What about you? What are you thankful for in 2024? Because you did a lot of different things this year that you haven't done in a while.
I'm thankful for I'm reconnecting with how hotels run. I'm really thankful that among my journey of speaking and other things I do, the show. Was it this year we dropped the show? Yeah, I think it was this year, right?
Yeah. Dr. Producer Suzanne is nodding yes. So
yeah.
she.
The book hit #1.
Look, you're turning pink from the embarrassment.
so what's interesting is I was saying to somebody, I may have been saying to you, it's like I didn't really do that much this year, and I was like, oh no, I dropped a book and we did a new show. So that stuff I've been doing it for so long, and I'm so happy. And there's so much. I wouldn't say pressure. I put so much pressure on myself for stuff like that, but kind of getting back and working with hotels. And being in these leadership training classes, in these fundamental leadership classes, and having people feel safe in talking to you and mentoring kids, like that school we did in Delaware last week that Suzanne hooked me up with. 7 kids reached out to me, so I have 7 new mentees.
Wow.
Seven new mentees that I'm mentoring. So that's kind of in the industry today as a hotel manager or supervisor is completely different than when I grew up.
Right.
There wasn't a lot of I would say standards, but there wasn't a lot of oversight. It was like, just make sure we make money and make sure you don't kill anybody, right? Yeah. And now every metric is measured and everything is looked at, which is good and bad. Which it's good because it's important for the investor, and it's challenging because of young people don't maybe get to be creative. So I'm trying to get people to be somewhat creative in our space. So I'm thankful for that. And obviously I'm thankful for my family, and I'm thankful for just everything that, I feel really grateful to God and really grateful for everything I have. And also grateful for the understanding that I'm not interested in building my ego anymore. I'm not interested in building a legacy or building what's next in my career. What else can I conquer? What else can I take over? I got one more big challenge in my life that I want to do in the hotel business. But outside of that, that's it. Like I'm really grateful for everything I get to do every day, and I'm grateful that I wake up every day, and I'm still grateful that this show is getting all the attention it's getting. And yesterday, the meeting we had with Clark, the podcast we did, one of my favorite podcasts ever, because he, being a finance geek, which most people don't know, I'm a finance geek, and listening to him articulate it in such a beautiful way to really drill it down for young managers to hear. So if you didn't hear our show, and Glenn will tell you everything you need to know in a second about where to get the show, it is really a masterclass in how people finance and how investors look at properties and look at their next venture.
Yeah. So make sure you check that out. You can find that at novacancynews.com, and of course our respective social media feeds. That's on the YouTubes as well. Anthony, it got me thinking about some of my favorite shows of the year, and April was like a crazy month for great shows. We had the awesome show with Todd Avery Lenahan and the Sirius XM Studios at Wynn. That was a really fun.
Yeah, what I'm really upset about with that is I would have loved to see you walk into that studio and walk right into Fish.
I know, dude. That was
we missed him by like 10 seconds.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we were supposed to do our broadcast at a specific time in the morning. They bumped us back 2 hours. Turns out they bumped us for Fish that was in town playing the Sphere that we just mentioned, and they were doing a whole thing, and we went at there like 30 seconds to a minute or something like that after they all left or something like that.
Yeah,
so
for those people I don't know, there's no bigger Fish fan. What are you guys called? Fishies?
Fish. Fish heads, I guess. I don't know.
Like deadheads are called what? Deadheads. What do you call it?
Yeah, fish heads. Yeah.
You call fish heads?
Yeah. Although I might try to put in for fishies because that sounds.
Yeah, I like fishies because fish head reminds me of Luca Brasi.
Coincidentally, the goo balls in the parking lot also pretty fishy, so be careful.
Yeah. But what other shows?
So I really, really like that one. And believe it or not, in April, we did a great show with Bonnie Campagnuolo, who runs Embassy Suites, because they celebrated their 40th anniversary. That one got a lot of views, and people loved seeing that show because of the legacy of the Embassy Suites brand.
And again, one of the things you realize on this show is I'm so connected and rooted in this industry that I have a story for every guest. It seems. If they've been in the industry for more than 10 years, I have a story with them. And I worked at the Embassy Suites, the first Embassy Suites ever. Their hotels, they celebrated 40 years. And so I was there in 86. So 96, 2006, 2016. So the brand was only what is that? 12 years old at the time? No, that was 40 years, right?
It's 40 years, yeah. Right
now, it was only 4 years old.
Right, that's wild.
So I was there at the inception,
right at the beginning.
And we were still trying to get the free breakfast done the right way without really long lines. And I just remember loving the concept. And I couldn't be more grateful for having my first hotel be Embassy Suites.
That's awesome. Oh, and that reminds me, years ago, y'all should check this out on YouTube. I still get views every single month on this. I did a omelet making competition with the then head of the Embassy Suite brands. So tune in to see who won that one. FYI, that was rigged. That's all I'm saying. Tune in to see who won.
You know what's interesting? All these years, whether it be the bakery I ran, or whether it be Embassy Suites, or restaurants, or wine, or jazz clubs, or whatever it was that I've run, I never learned how to do the thing that makes the thing.
Right.
So, like bread, I ran a bread company, a very famous bread company for years, and I can't make a loaf of bread, but I can run the hell out of a business, a bread business.
Yeah. That's cool. Also, in April, we did a show that you absolutely loved with Bruce Himmelstein, the founder of BJH Group, talking about sales and marketing, how to really do connect with brands. I think he was one of your favorite guests of the year.
Loved him. And also, we got to remember, Mr. Rosen. This is the year that a legend is no longer with us. And he didn't get, when other people in this industry passed away, and I won't name them because they deserved everything they got, but when other people passed away, they got so much love from this industry.
I know, right?
And I just did not see Mr. Rosen get the same amount of love. I don't know it's because if he was in Florida. I don't know because he was a quiet guy. He wasn't a politician. He wasn't always on all the latest podcasts and news organizations.
Ding, 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 all the above.
He did all of the hard work quietly and privately. And he had all those moments that I live for with employees and managers, and all those millions of moments that people will live in people's generations, live in people's families, that will be passed down from parent to child, will go for decades and years and generations of what he meant to that family. And, so I didn't want to, I want to make sure that we understand. And if you don't know who Mr. Rosen was, please go look him up. He was literally an icon among icons. Yeah, he's on the Mount Rushmore as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. And I think that what you said is absolutely correct, but he just was not out there on the conference circuit and in the mix with the greater hotel business because of what you said. He was too busy doing things, too busy impacting people's lives, and he didn't need that for his life. He had it all figured out in Orlando.
There's so many great hoteliers where they own hotels, where they're managers, where they've just been in the laundry for 30 years. Whatever they've been doing, there's so many people there. But when you look at, you look at my face, right? People who noticed I'm the hotel guy. But I'm nothing compared to so many people in this industry. And because because I've been on podcasts or TVs or interviews and I'm out there, people notice me, but I'm nothing compared to what most people have done for this industry.
For example, one of the coolest people that I've met over the last couple of years, Craig Poole. He's out there in Reading, Pennsylvania, running a hotel, having insane impact on the community by hiring people that have run into some serious legal obstacles in their lives, for example, and getting them to feel like they're part of something special. So he's somebody that does it for the community and not for the accolades and widespread recognition.
So as we continue to talk, I'd like to ask Suzanne in the back, our producer, to text us messages, two questions. One question for Glenn and one question for me of what you want to know about us that maybe the audience doesn't know, or just ask us any question, our philosophy on life. Just so as we're talking, we'll talk about those questions in a second once you send them to us. Yeah. I was talking to leaders yesterday on a Teams meeting as part of one of our classes. And one of the things
for getting the Teams app to work, it crashes my computers out all the time. So
yeah.
You're one
and that's what Coleman uses. And that, for those that don't know, I'm working with Coleman Hotels outside of Boston, New Hampshire. Great group of people, and just really so thankful for working with them. And yesterday we talked about accountability and what does that mean. And there were so many great answers and so many people really understanding, what that means. And what you learn about managers who are really on their way up is they hold themselves way accountable. But how do we hold other people accountable? So going through that and, talking about that, people want to be held accountable. People want to be part of a team. But you have to be able to have the fearlessness to have that conversation. So just those conversations I've been able to have in the last year and really get into the minutia of what we do for a living has been just amazing.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It just feels so good to be able to see the younger people really embracing hospitality and wanting to really be great representatives of that. All right, Suzanne's got a bunch of questions coming in for us. But before we do that, I would just like to say, speaking of a legacy, check out our show from April 24th, the legacy of Holiday Inn, where we had Webb Wilson, the grandson of Holiday Inn founder Ken Wilson, on the show. So that was a really fun one as well.
And also, we did our speaking gig this year for High Tech, right?
That I'm very super thankful.
Yeah, that was great. And, it was interesting in our dynamic as podcasters together, that you've really never seen that side of me where we're preparing for a speaking gig. So tell people getting ready for High Tech and getting ready for that presentation. I will tell you what it was like working with you. What was working with you was, if you see a car going down the highway at 100 miles an hour, and there's black in the person's eyes, you either stand your ground and get killed, and I don't mean that, in a bad way, or you get out of the way. And I think immediately you saw that I'm a little OCD on stuff like that, and you simply moved out of the way and said, "Go ahead."
I call it I surrendered to the flow, because I do this, I take the lead on this, and you, from the second we started talking about it, it was obviously that this is something that you wanted to do in your soul, not necessarily because you had control over it. So I'm just like, let's just.
Right. And I meant that as a compliment, that we know that about each other. Like, I know I can come onto the show a minute before, screw up everything, and you'll have patience with me.
Yeah, right. So it was great. It was great because I am not really terrific at building presentations. I sweat over it. I stress over it. So watching you do that was really cool, because it gave me a different approach.
Yeah, and my assistant Kalindra, who's amazing, who really, really got us started. Like, what she does great is she'll get me started or get us started, and then we get really creative with it. And that presentation, I just happened to go by it the other day when I was working on something, and I was like, man, that was a good presentation.
Yeah. I hope we get to do that again sometime.
And I'll never forget walking through the airport at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I won't say who, but from a very big brand, the person in charge of technology came over to me and goes, "Hey, man, I don't have practice of talking to people 5 a.m. in the airport." And I said, "What the hell are you talking to me for?" And he goes, "I was in your presentation yesterday." And I go, and he's one of the biggest guys in the industry in tech. And I go, "What'd you think?" And he goes, "It was amazing. It was great."
Awesome.
He goes, "You made fun of us a little bit," meaning his brand. He said, "But I got the joke."
Yeah. and you got the punch in the eye. So
no, we were both too tired to do anything. If he punched me in the eye, I'd be like, "Can I buy you breakfast?"
That's
so.
Really
what
funny.
questions does Suzanne
All
have
right. What is the one thing you pack in your carry-on bag while traveling that is a must?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, if you read a New York Times article a couple of years ago when they asked me what's in my bag, you'll know that I can't travel anywhere. I will turn the car back around or go to the nearest pharmacy for cuticle oil. For some reason, I haven't really tried cuticles. And since I'm in meetings and I'm always with my hands or whatever, I'm talking. So I always put cuticle oil on. So cuticle oil is always in my bag.
Wow, that is something I would never have ever guessed. I'm all about beef jerky and like Kind bars and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then there's secondary things like that.
You never know. Yeah, you never know when you're going to get hungry. But also headphones is super, super important. I always have I have plug-in headphones, backup plug-in headphones, wireless headphones, and backup wireless headphones, as well as extra pairs of glasses as well, because I am an idiot. I have no choice. I'm an idiot. I'll lose shit from time to time, and I don't.
I lose my glasses once a year. So far, I lost them once this year, and I look forward to losing theirs next year.
Well, dude, I had my glasses throughout the entire David Gilmour show earlier this year at Madison Square Garden. I was so proud of myself. I get home, they're freaking gone. So that was my loss per year.
Yeah. Once a year I lose them. When I was traveling around with the show, I had 5 pairs because I couldn't do the show without them. Because if you ever watch the show, my signature are my suits and my glasses. So and then I lost 4 of them, and then I was down to 1, and now I just carry 1, and I have a backup one that's broken. So I have no handle here. So if you ever see me, sometimes I'll just have glasses with no handle.
I got a couple of those pairs too.
But it's funny because I only wear Bose headphones. That's all I can wear. I can't wear Bose headphones, anything else. And I have 3 pairs now. The other day, the overhead ones that I have, I forgot at home. And I panicked so badly that I bought, and they're not cheap. I bought another pair from that vending machine in JFK.
Yeah.
I bit the bullet. So I need these headphones. So I bought them. So now I have the small ones, the buds, and then I have 2. So I have 3 headphones in my and what else we have? We have Kind bars and always clean underwear and clean socks.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself, buddy. All right, so I saw Jonathan is paying attention. I want to change course because he's asked if we could answer a question for him on today's show.
And Jonathan's going to be on. We're working on getting him on.
Oh, great. So heightened guest expectations going into New Year's. A lot of brands are starting to up their compliance thresholds to exceed the consumer's expectations post-COVID. I guess what are your thoughts? What's your philosophy on this, et cetera, et cetera?
That is my hot button right now.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about the guest. Stop. Think about the employee. Okay. Give everything you can to your employees, to your team, to your culture, to your hotel, and they will take care of your guests. We think about putting all these things in, and we think about, what do guests want? What do employees want? Make sure that the employees are happy and they're focused and they're motivated, because through that, you learn what the guests want. It's like when you get in your car, the gas is in the car. You have to have gas in your car to move, but now you have to make sure that everything else works on the car, right? So thinking about the guest and worrying about the guest going to 2025 is the gas. That you have to do that, or you're going to go out of business, right? You have to think about your competition. You have to think about what's the trend. You have to think about making guests comfortable. That's just what you do. That is your DNA. That is what we need to worry about every day, 24/7. But what happens is we so focus on the business, so focus on the customer, so focus on everything else. if you're not pouring into your employees,
Yeah.
your managers, your supervisors, you're making a mistake. And then people say, well, you can't find good employees. Well, employees don't care anymore. Employees want work-life balance. Employees want this. Employees want that. Okay, yes, they do. Kodak didn't listen to their customers or their employees, and they're no longer in business, okay? They're selling chemicals out of a truck on I-70, okay? So we have to focus on what, yes, of course, our customers are telling us, but what are our employees telling us? What do they need? And that's not a very popular thought process right now, because a lot of people feel that because price of everything's going up, including wages, including capital, everything's going up. But somewhere along the line, we lost the understanding that the employees are our business.
Yeah.
And the company I'm working with right now, Coleman out of the boat, they understand that. I can't tell you what they do for their employees, just the Christmas things they do and the holiday things they do. And just it's like they focus on the things that are important. So to me,
yep.
I've never really concerned myself with the guests. I've always concerned myself with the employees. But somehow I had the happiest guest. I was always number one in service. I was always at the top of the list. When I say I mean our team. Yeah. We always beat our expectations. We always beat our goals. We're going to have one of my bosses on from the Algonquin and Nickelodeon. And he'll, without me telling you, he'll tell you. We beat every single number under the hardest, most extreme circumstances because all I cared about was my employee.
And I will tell you, Anthony, I would say, reflecting back on this year, this is the year where culture was really at the forefront. I'm great to see that, but as a podcaster, every freaking guest wanted to talk about culture. And to me, it starts to get boring and redundant after a while. But for the point of this conversation, it just shows how top of mind and important it is. In fact, the two top videos I did solo while at the lodging conference, one with our friend Sloan Dean over at Remington Hospitality, their president and CEO, and Lisa Lombardi from ARC, tens of thousands of views for each of them. Culture.
And you know, and they walk the talk, but a lot of people don't, right? And so everybody says culture. People have to understand the most important dynamic. 80%, probably more, of the employees in the hotel business need that paycheck.
Yeah.
Right. They're looking forward to that paycheck every week. So there's a dynamic of my boss. So my boss isn't the greatest person, maybe, or my boss is the greatest person, whatever it is. You can't take away from the fact that that employee has to manage that relationship with the boss because, yes, they have to do a great job, but also they're afraid of losing their paycheck. So are they really going to tell you the truth? So you got to look at yourself and you got to say, self, am I creating a culture and an environment where a line employee can come to me and challenge me? Could they come to me and really push me? Could they really question me? And the answer has got to be yes. And a lot of people say, oh, of course they can. Okay. How many times have you been in a position where your paycheck depended on your boss,
right?
And you held back because you're like, I really can't say what I really want to say. But if you have an environment of freedom, you can talk about culture, but if you have an environment of freedom that you're not going to be judged for pushing back or coming up with an idea, you know, we're all challenged with that through our careers. So to me, culture means freedom of expression and freedom of thought without repercussions.
Yeah. Well, really well said. All right, we have to wrap up soon, Anthony. But got a couple of good questions.
Any more questions from our peanut gallery?
We got that's exactly where I was leading to right now. All right. How do you plan to get yourself into a reset mind frame for the new year with all the projects that you have going on, Anthony?
It's an interesting question. What I do every year, this time of year, is when I was a little kid, I was 2 years old, my dad passed away on New Year's Day. And I don't talk about that much. But so this is like going into this holiday to New Year's is kind of I go even deeper and lower and quieter than normal. Yeah. And I'm usually most people don't think I keep a low profile, but I keep a low profile and more than most. And so it's just my time to re-engage and kind of just practice gratefulness and mindfulness. And, I hate that word mindfulness, but just really stay quiet and really come up with, like last year when I went through this process, I came up with 2 goals. My goal was my book will come out and my show will go on, period. That's good. That was my professional goals. I have personal goals, but my professional goals. So now I will go through the same process of what I need to do. But also with that great quote from that person that says it every day on this podcast, I'll be kind to myself going into 2025.
Yeah, good. You've got to be. For me, what's really great about this time of year is being in the media side of the business is nothing is going to happen. And the way the calendar is going this year, next 2 weeks are dead, quiet. I usually have the last week of the year off, but this year it looks like I got 2 full weeks off. So I'm really looking forward to disconnecting from technology, spending some time with family, and just trying to get my energy back. I am burnt out. I'm super thankful for an incredible year, but it has worn me out. So I just need some time to not have to focus on work. And since I'm paying for 2 college educations, I'm not going on vacation, but I will do some fun things around the house to get my mind refocused and sharp.
We have some big things happening here at the at the compound, and with my family, and exciting times for my kids. So this is the time of year I want to give thanks to our incredible producers, Suzanne and Dave. Without them, the show would not be possible.
Well, let's thank Suzanne. Hey, Suzanne, thank you for being awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate having the opportunity to be a part of the team with both of you. You're both amazing.
Yes, and unfortunately, our other producer, he doesn't care enough about the show. He'd rather have a full-time.
Yeah, he's doing something like running hotels or something.
Being a GM of like a 500-room hotel.
He's just not capable of multitasking the way I am. So it's a shame that he doesn't have that ability. It's okay. I love him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for everything you do, Suzanne. We really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. All right. Craig is saying get the new studio set up. Craig, come on, dude. What are you doing to me over here? Yeah, I'm going to get it done over this break. For real.
That's what he said last year.
I did, but I mean it this year. It's all
I don't
right.
think you do. I think you got to stop making meatballs and matzo balls and focus on that.
The problem is, again, I've been so blessed this year. Anytime I'm home, I've been so needing to do home stuff and sleep before going back on the road. I haven't been able to do it. But with these 2
I tell you, and watching you, everybody thinks I travel a lot, and I haven't traveled a lot this year outside of
95.
Outside of I-95. I think I was on a plane. I don't know. I'm going to guess 10 times this year.
Yeah.
Right. You were on a plane 10 times this week.
Yeah, dude. It was kind of crazy.
How many miles did you fly this year?
I didn't even look. I don't know.
I think this year, my diamond status went from diamond to platinum. Now I think it's going to aluminum.
Oh, no. That's really not good. They're thank you, sir. You're in zone 27.
No, you're on the wait list, but I bought a ticket. Doesn't matter. What zone are you? What do you got? Diamond this year?
I did get diamond, but only because Delta is shafting all of us, and they gave us one last chance to do an exchange for with the MQ dollars that we had accumulated from the last year. So I took 25% of whatever I was allowed to status, which got me to diamond for the year. And then I've got the rest in miles. But quite frankly, Anthony, diamond status ain't what it used to be, because I still am going to get screwed on the Sky Lounge entry. So
why? You have a Delta American Express, right?
But they cut it back to 15 times per year.
Oh, okay. All right. So that probably won't affect me, but
that's like January and February. I'm like, What are you kidding me?
Really? Why are they doing that to us?
Because they're too popular, because they're not airlines anymore. They're credit card companies and they're banks and all of that kind of stuff. And that's all they're really.
Do you know something that people may not know? And I got this from the horse's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in to a Delta Sky Lounge, I don't know if I told you this. Do you know every time you use that American Express Platinum, how much American Express gives to Delta?
It's like 35 or 50 bucks or something like that,
35
right?
$35.
Yeah. So you'd think that they would, want to have as many people up there. But the good news is at least for me, is that American Express has opened the Centurion Lounge now at JFK Terminal 4, where I fly out of. So I'm going to be piloting a new strategy of flying out and trying the Centurion Lounge. And then when I fly back, use Delta lounges. So
wait. When you're flying back, why are you using a lounge?
Because I sometimes.
Oh, you mean the other trip? I thought you meant when you landed.
No. The return trip home.
Have you ever done that? Have you ever returned home and then had to go in the lounge for something to change clothes or whatever?
No, I've never.
They're not very happy about that.
No, I bet they're not. Which is, I get scared easily at these kinds of things. So I would never.
I was like, I won't take any food. I won't take any drinks. I just need to use the changing room. I just want to go in here. I don't want to change in the airport bathroom because it's kind of gross.
Right.
And I've done it a couple times. I get it every time, but I have to like basically beg.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But anyway,
God forbid you took an extra Biscoff cookie.
Yeah. So what number show are we ending on, my friend?
I don't know. 9:16, something like that.
Is it 9:15? Is there any?
She's typing in 9:50. Right? Maybe that's exactly right.
Is there any podcast? Any podcast in hospitality that's done 915 shows?
Oh, and that doesn't even include a lot of other content that we've done. And the answer is no.
Okay. And on behalf of all of our brothers and sisters out there podcasting in hospitality, I'm really excited. I'll be on anybody's show as long as you're nice people. And I think Glenn feels the same way. And you
don't have to be all that nice. I'm so desperate for attention, even if you're a jerk. I'm still on.
So there is this friendly competition of trying to come after, the number one podcast in hospitality.
It's stressful.
And some of them are doing a good job, but keep trying.
Yeah. Yeah. I say don't try. I say give up. I give up. We can't handle the stress anymore. It's too much. All right.
Listen, there's so many. We don't talk about this, and no one ever says anything about it. Mm-hmm. That what we've done is we've really done this for so long, and we've had so many great guests on here that we've really, I think, helped other people think about, hey, why don't I go in the podcast world?
I think so.
And I think they know, they see a couple things. One, it's great. It's fantastic. It gets you to know everyone, number one. Number two, you have a lot to say. There's a lot out there that we can, every podcast can give a different version, different perspective. And number three, it's not as easy as it looks. It's easy for me because you do all the heavy lifting. But if I had to do all the heavy, this is a hard work, being relevant, staying relevant, getting people on our podcast. Like, it's hard work. Talk about that, man.
Honestly, sometimes the hardest part of doing this is times like now. This week, I've been exhausted and trying to turn the engines on to get going. That's really difficult. But just constantly doing content day after day after day after day, it really starts to wear you down. Fortunately, I've been dealing with deadlines my whole life as a writer and daily deadlines for 20 plus years, but it is a crazy way to live.
Yeah, and I will tell you something. You've gotten, when I first met you, we started doing this, and even when your stage presence and when you're moderating and everything, you were good. You were good. I wouldn't say you were the best. I would say now you're the best in the business.
Thanks, man.
And you know me, I'm not, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. I think from moderating and the way you get people comfortable, and the way even on this podcast you ask really questions I would never ask or think about. I think you're the best in the business.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, and I love getting to work with you and do this. And tomorrow, guys, we're going to be taping our first two shows that are going to run in the new year. I'm blessed enough to have a speaking gig right out of the gate. So we're gonna come out.
Where are you speaking? Where are you speaking?
Speaking for a company named Ensemble in Northern California, in Santa Cruz, right? Psyched for that, and then I think I'm gonna go check out Reno for a couple of days because I've never
Reno. I hope Reno's gotten better from last time I was there.
I expected to. I expected to be like what I expected Laughlin to be, kind of a little bit of a time capsule from decades ago.
Have you been to Reno recently?
Never, ever, ever, ever.
Okay, I'm not disparaging Reno. I haven't been there in years, but I was probably there 10 years ago. When I was a kid, I didn't think about Vegas. I thought about Reno because I don't know if there was a show, if there was a commercial, but there was something about Reno. And it was always kind of top of mind for me. And the casinos and the glamour and the glitz. And yeah, it was the opposite of what I had expected.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Fortunately, our friends over at the Nevada Hotel and Lodging Association are opening some doors for me. So hopefully I'll be able to pull that part of the trip off because it's one of those jurisdictions that I just haven't seen before.
Yeah. This year I'm going to get to Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and where else have I? Japan. Yeah,
from your lips to God's ears. I got to get to all of those places. All right, call Jerry. Let's get us over to Saudi Arabia.
They got the Olympics, bro.
Yeah, they got the budget to fly us over on Emirates or something like that too.
Yeah, it's insane with what he's doing over there.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here for the year. How's that sound to you?
Okay, my friend.
All right. So, hey, for content over the next couple of weeks, we'll be featuring some of our favorite shows from the past year. If you have a suggestion, feel free to write in and let us know. And maybe maybe each of us individually will pop in to say something.
Why did you pop in our first episode we did live?
Oh, that was, dude, like that.
That's got to be March 10th. 2020.
I'm just thinking that might have been when we did it with the hotel doctor as the world just before the world started shutting down.
Yeah, I think we should pop that in and just put it the first live podcast with Anthony Glenn.
Yeah, let's go find that out. Yeah, that brings back great memories. I remember in the 24 hours after that podcast, I lost absolutely everything work-wise. So delightful.
Yeah, but we did have a really good drink at the Mark Hotel.
And we did have a really good drink over there as we talked about how it looked like the world was coming to an end. I think we had a little mini pizza too, but I don't really recall.
Yeah, it was that was interesting, and he went from we're not sure, we're looking at it, to within a couple of weeks he was in full head to toe gear, traveling around the city, going to people's homes.
Wow, absolutely.
During that period, he never got COVID.
Yep. All right. And let me just end the year by saying, hey, congrats to Hyatt and Venetian, which signed a long-term licensing agreement. I think that's going to work out really well. Hyatt's gone from no presence to Venetian and Rio in a blink of an eye. Pretty impressive for them. So
yeah, it's and you're seeing it more and more where these partnerships are becoming very meaningful.
Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Make sure you download all of our shows because what else are you going to do over holidays? Talk to family? No. You're going to listen to old episodes of No Vacancy. And, of course, follow us on all the socials and all that kind of good stuff. Thank you, everyone, for an incredible year. We'll see you next year. And until then, remember, you've got one life, so blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
Bye, everybody.
And put the devices down when